Hey everybody, it's your boy Priority Ghost, and we're going to be talking today about Worlds. I got my friend Thrice Frozen, aka Garrett, here. He's going to discuss some of this stuff with us, what we've seen in the first round robin, what we look forward to in the second round, and how we think the knockout and everything is going to play based off of what we've seen so far. Um, so far, Worlds has been going kind of how I predicted. I got the Worlds actual standings and my knockout, or my pick'em on the screen here. The actual standings is going to be on the right, or no, that's my picks is on the right, and the actual standings is here on the left. Today we're going to start talking about with Group B because that's been, in my opinion, the surprise so far of this Worlds. Is Fun Phoenix Plus and J Team have both been performing really well. Phoenix has had their downs, and J Team has actually been like my pick for the shock of this tournament so far. Coming in day one, beating Fun Phoenix and making it look really easy. That being LPL's number one seed, and J Team was not predicted to do well at all. I thought Splice was actually going to be the second seed out of this group, but right now I'm leaning more towards J Team because they've been performing really well. And Splice has not seemed to find the meta so far with their super long games. It's just not been going for them, so hopefully they can turn that around and make this competitive group. But right now I see Fun Phoenix and J Team kind of just running away with it. What about you, Garrett?
Yeah, we're seeing two different metas here at Worlds. We're seeing high early game chaos, just roll over your team, other opponent, and just keep going with that. And then you're seeing the scaling comps that want to have a fighting chance early game, and then just scale to the victory. Splice has shown that they don't want to do anything early game and just want to hope and pray that they somehow get the 50 minutes to where their win condition will work.
But the problem with running a comp like that, right, is Splice is a talented team, no doubt, but they're playing against teams that have equal talent or better talent on their roster. So running that 50-minute comp, well, if the other team has any scaling too, you're not gonna win that game because they might outperform you mechanically. And
Yeah,
just losing the early game just sets you so far behind that your hope and prayer is this team doesn't somehow end the game before we reach our power spikes.
and that's what they showed in the first round, that they just didn't know what to do. And next week they'll turn it around, hopefully, going
Yeah,
into round two,
with
this round
this
robin.
with the second round here, I'm really hoping that they pull it out and at least make it competitive. Maybe try to force a tiebreaker with one of these two teams, J Team and Fun Phoenix. I don't see Gam. They might win another game. I don't see them making this competitive for them. Um, what I have liked so far from Phoenix is they've shown a really good um, pick ban like adaptation and know how to run it. Like they got Kale Kiana in one of their games, like two of the most contested picks in this tournament at the same, and they got both of them. I don't understand how that happened, and they ran away with the game because of it. Like we
A
said,
lot of that pick ban power comes from Doinby. He just unique champion picks. You never know what he's going to throw at you here.
yeah, he's been shown to play anything, and it's working out for them really well. J Team's done a fantastic job of keeping up with teams and making games competitive, and then or finding a window and just taking team fights or taking an objective that just kind of steamrolls the game for them. I really want to see the rematch of these two because I think Fun Phoenix in that first game, they kind of took a win for granted, and it didn't turn out that way. So now I want to see they're like, hey, this team's actually competitive with us. Let's see what we can do now. That's what I'm hoping.
I'm expecting Phoenix to 3-0 week 2.
You think they 3-0? That would be
Yeah.
really good. That would also put J Team in a position where they have to then beat GAN and Splice to not force a tiebreaker.
Yep.
And I think that would be great. Um, let's move to Group
But
A.
hey,
Oh, go ahead.
tiebreaker's always a plus. We get more games to watch as fans.
Tiebreakers are great. I love them. We'll talk about some tiebreakers because I think Group D is going to have some tiebreakers for sure.
Oh, let's hope they all just win trade again.
That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping. Anyway, let's move to Group A here with G2, Griffin, Cloud9, and HKA. This group has played out really kind of how I expected to. G2 is, in my opinion, the best team in this group, and it's closer than I would have originally thought. I really do like the LCK teams this year. I think they're all really talented, but G2 themselves have not looked as dominant as they did in Europe and at MSI. They've shown a lot of shakiness, especially in their early games, getting outplayed by teams like C9 and Griffin, and they've pulled out some good wins for them. They've played those scaling comps and gotten to that point, but these games being competitive shows that there's a potential for a team to take a game from them, which I don't think is what G2 wants to see. Griffin has played well. They've had some lapses. They've had some mess ups, but I think overall they're mechanically just as talented as any team in this group. So I think that second seed is going to lean towards them. But Cloud9 have not played Svenskeren or put Sneaky on an actual ADC yet. I think that bringing those two things together might force Griffin or G2 into a rough spot.
Yeah, seeing Blabbers, just we know why they're throwing him in. That first week, Blabber's going to go in, high carry, totally bruise anyone he's up against. He tracks the enemy jungler very well. However, when he goes in for that early pressure, he trades 1-for-1, and it doesn't give that much of a lead to his team. Svenskeren's on the other side. He sets up those tactical ganks and tower dives, go 2-for-1, maybe just 1-for-0.
Mm-hmm.
I think that's better than Blabber just diving turret solo to get a 1-for-1 kill. No one on his team gets the assist gold, and he gave the enemy 3 assist gold.
Yeah, and that's something we saw in NA, right? Is Blabber statistically has a little bit better of an early game than Svenskeren, but Svenskeren's mid and late game is by far superior. So he might be getting that extra tracking and stuff down that Svenskeren might not. But having Svenskeren not in these games this first week has given him a chance to sit back and watch all of these games and see the jungle pathing and see what these junglers are doing. And that's going to give him a huge advantage going into week 2, especially against guys like Tarzan and Jankos, who are fantastic junglers, but now they're going to have to deal with NA MVP, who I think is going to put up a really good fight, if not out-jungle both of those guys.
Oh, we want to see Svenskeren come in, because that's how Cloud9's going to take second seed. They have to come in, beat Griffin. It's okay to drop the game to G2. They have to beat Griffin, though. And then Hong Kong Attitudes here, just chilling, showing why they were the wild card. They did play in, but barely played in.
Yeah, and they've had their moments where they've looked really good. The problem with that is that they're playing against teams that you might have that good team fight where you go 3 for 4, 2 for 3, something like that, right? And look fantastic. And then the other players surviving on the other team are just mechanically better than your surviving players, or they're set up different and they have a better position on the map, or something goes wrong and they just take the fight from you guys and it's over. The second round, like we were talking about here, is Cloud9 has to come in and at least beat Griffin and continue to beat Hong Kong. They might even have to take a game off of G2 because beating Griffin puts them in a tie. I don't know if they can beat the tiebreaker, though. That's where it would come down to. So their best bet is honestly trying to go 3-0 this week.
That is what all NA fans want, but even being the Cloud9 fan, they show their dominance in a best of 5. So that tiebreaker game, it's just another game down the line. They have more experience, probably going to go in with a better pick draft phase for that third game.
Let's finally put Sneaky on a non-mage. Please, for the love of God, get him off of mages.
Yeah. And it also looked like that Garen Yuumi lane they had to face was a problem.
I want to talk about that after we talk about all the groups, because the pick ban and stuff, man, there's some things I want to talk about, and Garen Yuumi is one of them, so I got a whole rant about it.
Oh, yeah. All right, let's move on.
Group C here. So I'm a huge SKT fan. This is my group. This is, in my opinion, Group C and D are by far the 2 most competitive groups that are going to come down in this last week. I think Group C is going to have a really, really competitive fight for that second place. I don't see a team competing with SKT. SKT has now shown us in all 3 of their games 3 different styles. and they've looked good on all of them. In my opinion, right now, they're probably the best team in this tournament. G2's had some rocky starts. SKT has shown that their map awareness and macro and just overall play is a step ahead of anybody that they've played so far. Um, Fnatic and Royal, I think they are very, very well matched teams. You know, their game against each other. Garen Yumi again, but I don't want to talk about that yet. I think that is what's kind of causing Fnatic some trouble, is they keep trying to play this Garen Yumi thing, and it's not working against champions that people that play actual ADCs. And when you're playing against Uzi, who statistically and throughout all of League has been one of, if not the best AD carry, you gotta compete with him as an AD carry. And Reckless is one of the guys who I think can actually do it. Then there's Clutch. I did not have much hope for Clutch when I found out they were in this group. I know they're our NA third team, but they are completely outmatched across the board in this. They are completely outmatched across the board by all of these teams, in my opinion. It's their only hope is somehow getting a miraculous team fight with Huni carrying. But the problem with that is that they're just getting so far behind in these games that it doesn't matter. I mean, that game against SKT, we saw the difference between the two teams. SKT had a comp where they had no siege, but they had so much map control and map awareness that they forced Clutch into these awful situations and just steamrolled the game. Like, it wasn't even close.
Yeah, you saw Faker blowing Flash for no reason just to have Huni dead.
You know what, though? At the end of the
Two
game...
orcs going back at a farmer member.
Yeah, he had to let him know.
Always
but
fun
at the
to
end
see.
of the game, though, you did see that they were all friendly and stuff. I mean, I think Huni understands it, that he's always been at Worlds. He's always performed well in his region, right? No matter where he's been. Even when he was in Korea, he didn't perform bad. But he realizes his team is just outclassed in this tournament.
And yeah, he's the one that would carry, so he's getting camped. Can't do anything about that when we're not in a top lane carry meta.
Yeah, unfortunately, that is part of it. So the second round robin of this group, I think that I hope SKT goes 6-0. I think that there is one team that has a chance to take a game off of them. It was their closest game in the first round, and it was Royal. But they also played a comp that kind of leaned towards having a close game that they would win at the end because of triple teleport. The only way I see Fnatic getting out of this group is if SKT beats Royal again, which I think they will, and then Fnatic splits the game with Royal and wins that second round against them, and then wins a tiebreaker. But like I said, I've trusted Royal's pick ban so much more in this first round. I don't see that changing.
And this is probably the one group where pick'ems should be what they are right now. SKT, RNG, Fnatic, Clutch Gaming.
Yeah.
I don't see it changing much. We're going to keep the same scoreline. We're going to go 6-0, 4-2, 2-4, 0-6.
I mean, yeah, I think realistically that's what it comes down to. I think it might end up being that Royal wins with a 4-3 line and Fnatic goes 3-4 because they might have a tiebreaker, but I see the number 1 and 2 seed staying SKT and Royal.
Yeah, which most people probably figured
expected.
that. This is what happens when you have 1, 2, and then 3 and 4. Realistically, this is how all groups should work if there were no upsets.
Yeah, but
only Group D hasn't had an upset, so
upsets are fun. Look at J Team's first game.
Yeah,
that's
what we want to look for.
Exactly. Okay, Group D, in my opinion, the most interesting group to watch, and this is the most competitive group for the top 3 teams. This is going to be a close second round robin, and I am so excited for it. So right now we have all 3 teams at the top tied 2-1. They split games, which is great. And then there's AHQ. Unfortunately, AHQ, I don't think you win a game in this bracket. And if you do, whoever you beat automatically doesn't advance.
Yep. That's
So
what's going on.
that's what these teams got to be worried about. They can't drop this game to AHQ, because if you do, you're not making it out. Damwon, TL, and Invictus all have very. Damwon and IG have a really similar style, and we saw it in their game, and it was a good game. It was top and mid duking it out, two of the most talented solo lane duos in this tournament. Let our bot lanes just kind of do what they're doing, and whoever gets that jungle pressure hopefully can swing the matchup. TL, on the other hand, has been leaning towards their strengths. Their strength is double lift and core JJ in the bot lane, getting them ahead, getting them the opportunity to carry. So we're seeing a really different style clash with these three teams when they faced, and it's been great to watch. I personally think that this comes down. I want this to come down. I want all three of them to split games again. I want this to come down to a 3-team tiebreaker. I really do. I think that would be great.
Oh, that would be so fun to watch.
I'm so excited for Group D's day. Like, I am so ready for it. Personally, I want to see TL get out of groups. I'm an NA. I want to have a team make it out of groups. I think TL is our best shot. But they're in a group where, and in a meta, honestly, where solo lane and jungle is very swing the game, right? And both Damwon and IG have better solo laners. It's just how it is. Like, Jensen's great and all, and who's TL's top laner? I can't even remember right now.
Impact.
You know,
Impact's great at absorbing pressure.
Let me take that back, because Impact has outperformed both of these top laners so far.
He has.
And
not only just the top laners, top and jungle go at Impact. He absorbs it. Impact has his world buff, just like Faker has his world buff.
I like Faker's more, but you're absolutely right. And the thing is, right, is that when Damwon faced TL, they got Nagari his pick. They gave him the Vlad. They gave him his champion.
Vlad with Klepto.
And
Impact
he got
didn't care.
Stopped. Impact was forcing him out of lane. Impact was solo killing him. Impact swung team fights. It wasn't
Impact solo killed him under turret.
And this is nerfed Aatrox. Like, imagine if Aatrox hadn't had his laning nerfs. So, this group is going to be super exciting to watch when it comes down to it. I am so hoping for a three-team tiebreaker. If one of these teams, though, comes in and doesn't split a game, though, like, say TL wins against Damwon and AHQ, and wins against Damwon and IG somehow, or any of the combination, I mean, the group's over. And then it comes down to hopefully a double tiebreaker with the other two. But any one of these three teams can come in and do that, though.
Go 3-0, they're going to be the number one going out of Group D.
Oh, yeah. And the scary thing is that any one of them can do it. All three
Any
of
one
them
of
have
them
the
can do
potential to
it.
do
This
it.
is the most competitive group, not in the sense that is the best teams of the worlds, but is in the sense that they are so close in skill level that it doesn't matter. Any little thing can sway it to either side winning.
And, you know, based off of what we've seen so far in this group stage, I would say 3 of the 8 best teams in the world are in this group. The only teams that I would really rank above all 3 of these is SKT and G2. Other than that, I can make an argument that any of these 3 teams is better than Royal, any of these 3 teams is better than Phoenix, any of these 3 teams is better than RNG, or better than Griffin. I can make an argument for all of those. Right here, that's...
And it comes from the solo laners. IG has the Shy and Rookie, both phenomenal.
Damwon has Nagari and Showmaker, who proved throughout the regular split in LCK that they are not to be messed with.
The best thing about Damwon, such a young team. Hope they stay together and get some synergy flowing for next year, because they're going to kill it.
We've seen a lot of really young teams out of Korea, though, that split up after they lose Worlds.
Yep.
So hope you're right, but I've seen it happen before. I'm not 100% sure. And the other thing too is we've seen young Korean teams like Griffin, right? They're the choke masters of Korea. They've literally only placed second place in Korea in all the splits they've played because they can't win the finals. They've never won a 5-game series. They haven't. Now, granted, they've played SKT every time, who doesn't lose best of fives very often. But there's a lot of potential out of this group in general. All of these teams are so good, and I'm really excited to see the second round robin for this. Okay, so now let's before we talk about the knockout and stuff and what we expect going for that, or what we hope goes for that. Let's talk about the pick ban and draft and everything that's been going on in these games, because I got a lot to vent about here about this. First of all, if you're Cloud9 and Fnatic, stop picking these stupid bot lanes. Garen Yuumi, I hate it. I hate it. I get that late game, it's a monster, right? But the problem is, if you're playing against a team that doesn't let you get to late game, you automatically lose because you have no wave control. And then Fnatic's picking Cloud9's picking Mage's bot lane. We've seen what's winning at this tournament from G2, SKT, RNG. It's picking a couple early game champions to carry you through, and then having scaling in one or both of your carries. Kai'Sa, Xayah, Kayle. Something with scaling. And then having
Vlad, Rise.
Anything
up there.
Having some early game. We've seen the jungle be a lot about early game. Elise picks, Rek'Sai picks, Lee Sin picks, Gragas. These early game champions that can control a fight, control a brawl, and carry the early game until you get that late game champion online. But some of the teams just aren't doing it. Some of the teams are straying away from it and trying to play these crazy comp bot lanes or these crazy comps in general, and it's not working at all.
And the only time it does work is when the other team does it as well.
Yeah, with the Cloud9 example, playing Sona Tom. I mean, in that game, right, I don't think that Sona is necessarily a bad pick. But you're against a Garen Yuumi who has no lane pressure. Why not go for the full Sona Tom? The late game team fight, you don't get to kill us, monsters. Instead, they picked the Tom Kench.
Tom for the Taric.
Instead, they substitute Tom, and Tom is just not the same with that lane. It just doesn't work as well.
And the reason Tom was better than Taric is because Tom can absorb pressure better than Taric can.
But there was no pressure coming to that lane. There's no pressure that comes to a Garen Yuumi lane. It's, you know what, we admit that we are going to lose this laning phase.
Oh, you're going to run at us. Okay, we'll run away.
Yeah, you fully admit that, you know
what? Oh, we can't kill you because you're Garen.
We're losing this laning phase. You might as well just, at that point, you realize, hey, we win the lane, go for the ultra late game. Who cares? That's what we saw when Fnatic played it against SKT. They're like, oh, you picked Garen? Cool. That means we get a free Kayle scaling bot lane. Thanks.
Yep.
And they win the game off of it. So, I mean, I want to see teams the teams that have been doing the draft right, I want to see that continue. The teams that have been picking these crazy, weird bot lanes and stuff like that, man, you got to realize it's not working. Both, like, you got to do something. You got to figure it out somewhere. And do it. Okay, last for this video here, let's talk about, let's say all these groups go how they're supposed to, right? So, G2 Griffin G2 wins, SKT wins, Fun's J-Team both advance, and then we have, like, Royal, potentially Cloud9 or Griffin, whichever one, and then this bot group of death, let's just say IGTL, right? Let's just say it. How do you feel?
We could see it. We could also see TL Damwon, or we could just see NA drop the ball and get 0-3 this week.
Absolutely. So, but with all
Actually,
that,
probably
right?
1-2, but
Who do you feel going into the knockouts right now, without seeing the second round robin, has the best chance to make it to at least semis, potentially finals?
oh, SKT G2. As long as they're on different ends of the bracket, we'll see them going farther than anyone else in this tournament, probably.
I completely agree with that. I think that SKT, even if Damwon or whoever makes it out of that bottom group, even if Griffin makes it out, right, and they have to play SKT, SKT's already beat both of them. They 3-0'd
Yep.
or 3-1 both of them. G2 is this is why I don't like best of ones, right? It can be all random. You could play bad one game and lose and not make it out of groups. The best of fives is where everything really gets made, because G2 has shown us in a best of 5 and a best of 3 that you might win a game. It might happen. But we'll adapt to the next game, and then we'll adapt again, and then we'll adapt again. SKT has shown the same thing, you know. Faker didn't look great in LCK playoffs in laning phase, but he played so well after laning phase and adapted each round that it didn't matter. And that's what these best teams have been doing, and that's what I want to see from some of these teams, and those are the teams that are going to advance, right? Teams that learn to adapt to this meta and learn to adapt to these games.
And the criticism SKT was getting was they only had one style. Their 3 wins are 3 separate styles, so they match G2 now.
That's the scariest thing, right? Is SKT has proven 3 separate games that they have won all like distinctive wins with 3 separate styles. You
can ban out one of those styles. There's 2 others to choose from still.
You now have to actually be worried about Teddy's Yasuo.
Mm-hmm.
And Teddy wasn't known as a Yasuo player. That was his first Yasuo competitive game. But now it's in the back of your head. Do I think they play it again? Probably not. But you also can't just be like, oh, they won't play it so we can leave it open. Because they can and they've won with it. Realistically, what I hope is that the semifinals come down to, I want to see G2 against either Damwon or IG. I would love to see the IG rematch with TL, but I want to see IG versus G2 because I think that is one of the best solo lane matchups you'll get in this tournament. Is Caps and it's Wonder is their top lane. I'm saying his name right. Yeah, Caps and Wonder versus
Rookie and the
Rookie
Shy.
and the Shy. Because I still think the Shy is the best top laner in the world. Wonder is fantastic though. And
I would love to see that. I would also like to see Damwon's.
I would love to see that too. I want to see G2
just
face
because I
want
to see how the young stars do.
I want to see G2 face one of those two either in the first round or the semis. And I really want to see. I don't even think who SKT plays really matters at this point though. Unless they get stuck.
I don't think it does either.
Unless they get stuck playing like an IG or a TL, I think they make a clean run. But let's talk about this though. You could potentially have a round where either G2 or SKT have to face a Damwon or an IG in the first round, and then face G2 or SKT in the semis, just to make it to finals. Like, that side of the bracket could potentially happen, which is terrifying.
Because that could potentially be the better viewing game than the actual finals.
Absolutely. If G2 and SKT meet at all in this tournament, I think whoever wins that ends up winning the tournament.
Yep.
Same with how it was at MSI. I 100% thought that the G2 SKT semifinals at MSI was the actual finals. I didn't see TL beating either of those teams. I didn't see IG beating either of those teams. And sure enough, fastest MSI games
final.
Yeah, it was a steamroll.
It's because Liquid cannot adapt very well. They have their style play through Doublelift.
Okay, so let's talk about that then real quick too before we end this video. Their styles play through Doublelift. Doublelift is shown on his Kai'Sa, he's fantastic. On his Xayah, he's good.
ban it away.
Why don't G2 and Donwan, or not G2, Donwan and IG just do that? Yeah, Jensen's a great player, but if you just ban those two champions away, you're changing the whole pick ban, which means there's going to be more of those top picks available, or TL's going to have to ban them.
You're throwing them into their Sona Tark
Yeah,
or Sona Tom lane, which, like we discussed earlier, hasn't been doing the best results here.
Yeah, and so
you're narrowing it down to Jensen probably failing in our Zonias again, and then just Impact being the solo carry.
Yeah, and then
he can absorb all the pressure he wants. If you lose mid and bot and top's just going even, you're still going to lose the game.
And then the counter argument to that is, though, is, oh, they're leaving all these power picks up, right? We saw what happens when Fun Phoenix got 2 power picks. I don't see either of those teams making the mistake where they hand over 2 of those top power picks. They're not going to give over Kiana and Nikhil in a second round. It's not going to happen.
Especially when we get into best of 5s.
Oh, yeah. The best of 5s in this tournament are going to be great. No matter who makes it out, I feel like the top 8 teams are kind of pretty set with, you know, Royal, SKT, G2, and Griffin, in my opinion, kind of those 4. And then whoever makes it out of Group D is obviously 2 of the top 8 teams. And then Fun, if they play on their good day, I guess they're a good team. I haven't seen that much of them, and I haven't been convinced. I really wish that we could see 3 of these Group D teams make it into the knockout stage, because I think they're 3 of the best teams in this tournament. I think that's how you make
3 of the most fun to watch.
Oh yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Alrighty, well that's going to be it for this video. I will do another one after the second round robin when we get the knockout, like who's actually going to be where and how I think the tournament's going to play out from there. We'll also do a pick'em then as well. But that's going to be it for this video. Thank you, Garrett, for joining me and discussing all this stuff with me. I'm real excited for the second round robin here. I just really hope it plays out at as best as it can. I don't want to see 4 of these teams come in 3-0 and just end it. Like, I want to see, especially in Group D, I want to see some scraps. I want to see those tiebreakers.
I see Group B and Group C staying pretty same. G2's getting out of Group A. Griffin, Cloud9, head-to-head, split the games, take the tiebreaker. Let's go.
You're a C9 fan, though.
A C9 fan. Let's hope Svenskeren and Sneaky appear.
I honestly, at this point, am just hoping one NA team makes it out, because I would like to see it.
It's just nice having a team from your region out, no matter where you are.
It is. Even though I'm an SKT fan, I would love to see both C9 and TL make it out. I don't think it's gonna happen though.
And then fight each other.
Let's go. That would be awful for both teams. Alrighty, well we're gonna cut.
But still funny.
Absolutely would be. So that's
group to look out for is Group D though.
Yeah, that's gonna be the main day. What day do they play? Keep your eyes out on. Ooh, they play Sunday. Keep your eyes out for Sunday. This right here is gonna be this is the group right here. That's the one we want to see. Alrighty, but that's gonna be it for this video, everybody. Thank y'all. I'm gonna get this video. We're gonna do another video here, probably uploaded in the next day or two, of the preseason notes that we've gotten so far and what I think of those and how excited I am for season 10. Thanks everybody. Have a great night. Peace.
See ya.